next rest we're going to talk about is eighth note rests. Now you'll notice when looking at the sheet music that eighth note rests look exactly like eighth note rests. But if you look above the staff or above the bar, you'll notice a line with a little 3 written in there. And that tells you that that section is triplets. So you'll know when you see an eighth note rest and that line above with the little triplet sign that that is an eighth note triplet rest. And so the same thing applies for this. We just rest for the value of an eighth note triplet. So let's put on the metronome at 60 beats per minute, and I'll show you how it sounds to not play anything for an eighth note triplet rest. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 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 Now let's take a look at exercise 2. Exercise 2 basically takes off the last eighth note triplet. So you count 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and Don't play anything on the of 4. Okay, I'm going to play this for you guys at 60 and 100 beats per minute. In exercise 3, we have a total of 4 eighth note triplet rests. So it's very important that you just count this one out slowly and take your time with it. If you were to count it out and actually just say rest for when you weren't playing anything, it would sound like this. 1 rest and 3 rest and 4 and rest. So you might find that more challenging to say, and that's totally fine. Don't worry about it. Just practice it slowly, even if it means just practicing on your leg first. Understand the rhythm, and then start moving it around the kit. So I'll play this one for you at 60 and 100 beats per minute. Number 4 is actually just a basic shuffle. There's actually no note being played on the end of every single count. So just practice leaving that out, and then you kind of have this gallop feel. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. So you could just work on that with your right hand first, and then actually go into practicing the exercise. I'll play this for you guys at 60 and again at 100. Number 5 actually just starts with a basic jazz swing pattern. So when you play this really, really slowly, you're going to notice a lot of space between each of those notes. But just really focus on locking in with the click and really internalize what an eighth note triplet feels like, what that length of time feels like. Then we move into a fill, which is kind of a complex fill, especially if you're a new drummer just starting. So just take your time and work it out slowly, and then eventually put it all together. So I'll play it for you guys at 60 and 100 beats per minute. So that is how you play eighth note triplet rests. Now what I need you to do is play all these starting at 60 beats per minute. Make sure you can play them at 60 beats per minute perfectly for 2 minutes straight. Then slowly work your way up, work the tempo up 5 BPM at a time, 10 BPM at a time, whatever you can do. And eventually, once you get them to 100 beats per minute, you can play each of them for 2 minutes straight without making any mistakes. Then you're ready to move on to the next section.